Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be looking at what we know about Hytale's weapons and combat system so far using the announcement trailer and other images and concept art. The Hytale team have said that the lack of information about combat is due to them wanting to see what the community thinks of what has been shown so far in the trailer and hear about any suggestions they may have. They've also stated they will be getting in contact with community leaders to find out what they would like most out of the combat system. I think this is really good, as it is nice to see a company listening so much to what the community wants instead of ignoring feedback. I'm going to start by looking at all the different weapons that have been shown so far in the trailer and concept art. There are a couple of features that I think are going to be common across all weapons in the game. I think all weapons and armor will have rarity levels, and this is shown in some of the screenshots of the user interface and concept art. From the images we can see that white means common, blue means rare, purple is epic, and yellow is legendary. There is also a green colour which can be seen in this screenshot. My best guess is that this will be used for the uncommon rarity. I also think that there will be some sort of enchantment / special effects that can be applied to weapons or that can be found on weapons. We have seen something like this so far with the fire sword and demonic axe. The fire sword has a chance to set enemies on fire when you attack, and the demonic axe consumes the soul of slain enemies, which increases its damage for a limited time. However, some of the damage you deal is reflected back at you. There are also one-handed and two-handed weapons. For what we have seen in the trailer, it seems that two-handed weapons are slower yet more powerful than one-handed weapons, which are faster, most likely at the cost of damage output. Shields are most likely only going to be usable with one-handed weapons. Also, from the screenshots and concept art, it looks like different factions of NPCs will have their own weapon styles and themes. This is a really cool feature, as it will allow you to collect the whole set of weapons, and will also be really interesting from a lore standpoint. There have been various bladed weapons shown so far, such as swords, daggers, and axes. There are one-handed variants of swords, daggers, and axes, and with two-handed swords being shown, I think it's safe to assume that both axes and swords will have two-handed variants. There are already a huge variety of designs for these weapons that we can see in the trailer and concept art, bearing in mind that not all are guaranteed to be in the final game. There are also multiple blunt force weapons that have been shown so far. These are in the form of hammers or clubs. Judging from the trailer and concept art, I believe there will be one- and two-handed variants of the weapons. I also think that the attacks from these weapons will be slightly slower than bladed weapons. I think an interesting feature for these two sets of weapons would be if swords did more damage to enemies without armor or that are very lightly armored. Consequently, blunt force objects should do more damage to heavily armored opponents than bladed weapons. We have also seen various examples of magical items such as staffs and wands. This leads me to question whether there will be a mana system or if there will just be a cooldown on attacks from these weapons. It would also be cool if different types of magical attack did different amounts of damage depending on the type of enemy. For example, maybe ice monsters will be especially susceptible to fire attacks. Similar to the magic weapons, we also have ranged weapons like bows and crossbows. As well as these, there is also concept art of quivers. If quivers are brought through to the release, they could be a very nice feature, as you may be able to store all of your arrows in them, freeing up inventory space. If there are different types of arrows, then it might be a possibility that separate quivers are needed for each type. As well as weapons, there are many instances of armor and shields being shown. In the screenshots of the inventory user interface, we can see that there are slots for helmets, chest plates, leggings, and boots. There is also what seems to be a slot maybe for an offhand item, and 4 slots for rings and possibly other accessories. Taking a look at the trailer, there are a couple scenes in particular which show off where the combat is right now in the game. Here we can see someone using a one-handed sword and a shield. The attacks from the sword seem to have swing time, which is the time it takes for the player to actually swing the sword and for the sword to hit the enemy. I think this system is much better than the delay that Minecraft introduced in 1.9, as it doesn't feel like you are waiting for a weapon cooldown to finish. Rather, it makes timing your attacks much more important, as if you miss your first swing, your opponent may be able to get 2 attacks in before your second swing. The shield looks like it can be activated with right click, and the slight screen shake when the chalk hits the shield makes the attack feel much more immersive, as though the attacks actually have weight behind them. In this part of the trailer we can see two players attacking what seems to be a boss or mini-boss. The first part shows an attack from a fire staff which shoots a sort of fireball projectile. I think the animation for this looks really well done, and just from the video it looks like the weapon will feel really responsive. In the second part we can see the other player charging up a spin attack with what looks like a two-handed mace or club. I think the different speeds of all the weapons in the game will keep combat really fresh and exciting, as no two fights will be the same. In this clip we can see attacks from a third-person point of view. The two people fighting on the island in front show some more aspects of the combat that possibly look like combo attacks, which is a very cool concept. We also get to see the first-person view of the crossbow, which looks very nice. I think that the weapons and combat system look really promising so far, and I can't wait to see what tweaks and changes they make following further feedback. If I was to want any feature kept in the final game, it would be the power attacks that have to be charged up. I think these change the combat feel so much from Minecraft, so I really hope that they stay. Let me know in the comments what kind of weapons and combat features you are most excited for in the game, and if there aren't any, do you have any cool weapon ideas? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video then please leave a like, and if you want to see more like this then be sure to subscribe. See you in the next one.